If you would like an easy, no-bake, family-friendly strawberry dessert, then let's make this indulgent strawberry tiramisu. This dessert is also a great option for when you're hosting friends or family but don't want too much to do on the day. You can make this ahead and just finish it with the toppings right before serving. Savor the taste of spring in this dessert with Savoiardi biscuits, layered with sweet and creamy mascarpone filling, diced strawberries stirred in strawberry syrup, topped with sweet but firm and fresh strawberry drizzled with, you guessed it, strawberry syrup. First off, wash the strawberries. I leave them to soak for a few minutes. Sort the strawberries into those that are ripe but firm to be used for the layering and topping. Then those that are ripe and bruised will be used for the syrup. After washing the strawberries, you need to hull and cut them into halves or quarters. At this point, it doesn't really matter. Carefully tip the strawberries into hot water. Bring it to a boil, then reduce the heat and let them simmer for 15 minutes. You don't need to do anything to it during this time, including stirring, which I'm ironically doing now, but I just couldn't help myself. Anyway, here is what the strawberries will look like when the 15 minutes are up. They have lost their color and look far from what they did when tipped into the hot water. Now set the strainer over a bowl and pour the strawberries over it. Lift up the strainer and give it a little wiggle. Do not try to mash the strawberries to squeeze out the water. Rinse the pot that you previously used and slowly and carefully pour the strawberry water back into the pot. There will most likely be some residue at the bottom of the bowl that you should avoid adding to the pot. Set the stove to high heat and pour the sugar into the strawberry water. I'm using equal amounts of sugar to the water. Stir and let that come to a boil, then reduce the heat to medium and let it simmer for 18 minutes. At the beginning, it will look like it may rise over the pot as it violently boils, but as it simmers, it thickens and has this shimmer. And that's our strawberry syrup ready. Give it a few minutes to cool down before pouring it into a sterilized glass bottle. I prefer to do this before it completely cools, as it thickens some more as it cools down. You can store the leftover syrup that you may not use in this recipe in the fridge and try to use it within 2 weeks. As part of the layers for our tiramisu, I picked out some ripe but firm strawberries and diced them into small pieces, but let's set those on the side for now. Moving on to the mascarpone mixture. Wash the eggs to avoid any dirt going in. And a little tip that could save you time and energy whipping is to use eggs that are at room temperature. They form faster. So separate the egg whites from the egg yolks. Next, whip the egg whites, and once they start to froth up, tip the sugar into the bowl and whip them until they form stiff peaks. This should take about 5 minutes or so. Set that to the side and move on to the egg yolks. Whisk them until they are thickened and leave a ribbon trail when you lift the whisk, like so. The mascarpone is not at room temperature, but this doesn't affect the egg yolk mixture. So just go ahead and add it to the yolks and whisk until they are well incorporated with as few bits of mascarpone globules as possible. The mixture should be thick. I drizzle about 2 tablespoons of the strawberry syrup into the egg yolk mixture and whisk it in before adding a quarter of the egg whites to the egg yolk mixture and folding it in using a spatula. Then add the rest of it and quickly but gently repeat the process. A few streaks of egg whites is okay, so there's no need to overmix it. We need the mixture to retain some structure, including the whipped air for lightness. Drizzle about 1 tablespoon of the syrup over the diced strawberries. Mix it well. We just want them coated in the sweet syrup and not drenched, so avoid using too much syrup at this point. Let's move on to the layering now. Try using a casserole dish that perfectly fits the biscuits, if you have one, that is. I use Savoiardi biscuits and layer them sugar side down. Then lightly drizzle some syrup over them. The beauty of this recipe is that you can somewhat control how sweet you would like the tiramisu to be. So either go heavy or light with the drizzle. But I would advise not to overdo it, as the mascarpone mixture also adds sweetness to the dessert. Thereafter, scoop half of the mascarpone mixture over the biscuits, and using the spatula, try to evenly spread it to every crevice of the dish. Then dollop the diced strawberry over it in a way that somewhat ensures every bite has some. And yes, add a drizzle of the syrup, which is optional, onto our final layer with the biscuits, followed by the syrup, then the mascarpone mixture again. Cover the tiramisu with cling film and set it in the fridge to set for no less than 4 hours if you're in a hurry, that is. Otherwise, in my case, I left it in the fridge overnight. You want to avoid digging into it before the mascarpone mixture has had time to set, otherwise it may end up a slurry mess when trying to scoop it out. Yes, this has sadly happened to me before, so lesson learned. I hope you had sorted out your strawberries at the beginning, because those ripe and firm strawberries come into play now. Slice and top your tiramisu with them right before serving with a drizzle of the syrup. You will love that the biscuits are not overly soggy, but have a slight crunch from the sugar, slight sweetness from the syrup, while the mascarpone mellows it down. The bite from the sweet, firm, and slightly tangy strawberries. And I must say, the fresh juices from the strawberries laid at the top just finish it off beautifully. So I hope you try making this easy strawberry tiramisu dessert. If you liked it, please share it and consider subscribing. Let me know in the comment section what other recipes you'd like to see more of, or that you'd love for me to try from your culture. If you're on Instagram or TikTok and would love to connect there, my links are in the description below. Otherwise, I hope you stop by for the next video, and until then, I wish you an amazing day wherever you are. Bye.